Well, Riley, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Happy to have you here. Happy to be here in San Diego. You have a beautiful town to call home.
Yeah, this is the backyard. You guys should come more often.
It's amazing.
If you're not sold yet, I think you are after this weekend.
Yeah.
So for sure.
Yeah, great weather, golf, beaches. Couldn't
Running.
ask for more. Yeah,
Tan.
running.
Yep.
There we
burning,
go.
Literally burning. It's okay.
It happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to do a really quick intro for you. I'm going to read off some of these accolades that you have because you're a very unique person, unique story, and we're very happy to have you. But so my guest today is the definition of grit, discipline, and unstoppable drive. She's a United States Marine Corps officer and a world-class athlete chasing Olympic gold as a bobsledder on Team USA. Whether she's leading Marines or rocketing down an icy track at 90 miles an hour, she brings the same warrior mindset and relentless spirit. Please welcome to the show, Riley Tejcek.
That was beautifully written. Wow, thank you. I'm honored.
Okay, I gotta be honest, that was ChatGPT.
I wasn't about to say that, but I did. You know what? I was gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I really was.
Honestly, we were rushing to get ready for this, so I was like,
It's fine.
Should do that more
I
often
didn't have
for
time to
guests.
sit there and think about it. What?
Yeah. No, I was saying we should do that more often for guests.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Honestly, good. From
Sounds
here on out,
good.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
I know your story, but it's gonna write it better and faster.
That's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's dive into kind of a little bit of your story. Where did you grow up? What was your childhood like? Did you always have these aspirations to be an Olympian and be in the military, or those things like just kind of fall into place?
When I do podcasts, sometimes the same things come to my mind, but as you just asked a question, like a core memory thought came up that I don't really talk about. So I'm actually really excited to start off with this. So my parents grew up, my parents were from different places. So my mom grew up in Kentucky, very different background. She was adopted, grew up very, very poor, had to use academics to get to her where she is today, but now she's a VP of a massive pharmaceutical company, crushing it, but started from nothing. So that's her story that she obviously was instilling in me. And then my father actually grew up here in San Diego. He was a professional baseball player, so he really had that athletic mindset. So academics meets athletics is who they tried to create, but that grit, resiliency from the beginning was something that they instilled in me straight away.
Both hard workers for sure.
Absolutely. And there's no excuses. Like the way they raised me as the oldest, and I have a younger sister who's in law school, so super underachiever, clearly. The way that they raised us, was we demand excellence from you and what that looks like. And I'm really glad that they were as hard on us as they were, but still allowed us to have that freedom to explore like what we wanted to do and what we like doing, which is why my sister and I are so different. I'm more of like the jock athlete. My sister is more just like this beautiful, was a pageant princess, lawyer now, right? Yep. But we were able to kind of just be and do our own thing. But I remember this core memory that I never have shared before that I'm actually really excited you asked me. There was a thing called track and field day. Did you guys have this in elementary school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I know, and anyone else will know that there's like these ribbons that you can win for like track and field day, right? 1st through 6th place. And it's based off of your like 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade or whatever. And some of the events were like 100-meter run, 200-meter run, like farthest throw, like most, what is it called?
Jump rope?
Jump rope. Thank you. Yeah. Like how many jump ropes in a row, like whatever. And my favorite thing was the sprinting events. And I was undefeated in the 100 and 200. I had never been beaten. And I remember at that time telling my dad, like, Dad, like, I want to be an Olympic runner.
Nice.
Those words I only remember because you asked that question. Did you always want to be an Olympian? Because the answer is normally no. Like that wasn't on my radar. Because plot twist, never ran track a day in my life because my dad was a baseball player. Therefore, I played softball, and softball and track were in the same season. So running was never a thing other than at that time, 1st to 5th grade. Track and field day was the most important thing to me. Like that was the day that I had like circled on my calendar, like got ready for, ate pasta the night before, right? Like was really amped, listening to Disney Channel music on the way to school.
Yep. Kids Bop.
Thank you. Yeah. Kids Bop with the music videos playing on MTV, maybe if my parents let me. But it's then that I knew, and my parents said that they knew through that in soccer and whatever. It's just like, I just wanted to compete. And I loved seeing how good can I get at something. And when I wasn't, it pissed me off in a positive way. It was, gosh, someone's better at me than this, and I'm going to work that much harder. And that's something where my dad really came into play. My dad is 5'10". He's like, there's nothing special about me, more guys that he was playing ball with had more talent. He goes, but no one would outwork me. So even when we were losing 10-0 in baseball, I was hustling out to the field. Like I was doing all these things. And he's like, and that's why I got respect and I made it as high as I did.
Yeah.
So my parents were actually also very clear with me, and they still are. Like, will even tell me, they're like, Riley, you're not the most gifted child. They're like, your sister is way smarter than you and has like a higher trajectory. They're like, people that you've competed against, like they're way more talented. They're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger. They're like, but what you can't teach is exactly what you started this with. Grit, resiliency, and that drive. That can't be taught. You either have it or you don't, or you develop it. But most people stop and limit themselves on where that is, where they could really go.
Definitely.
So my parents, again, have done an incredible job. People ask them all the time, like, what did you do? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, Mom and Dad, teach me how to be a parent, because when I have kids, like, I want them to, do some of these things, but I think they were just doing the best that they could. But that foundation has absolutely led me to where I am now.
And they rewarded the hard work, and it sounds like they rewarded the setting high goals and working towards them.
They did, but it was almost one of those things with my dad as my coach forever. And any parent that has had this relationship with their child, it was almost like my dad and I couldn't separate him being my coach and being my father. So he was my coach 24/7. So while when I did good, I knew I did good. When I did bad, I really knew I did bad. So there was kind of this, I just wanted to please my parents and not let them down so bad that I would do anything for them, because I knew that they gave so much to me. So yes, they rewarded me, but it was almost the opposite with my dad. Like I didn't look for the accolade. I was more worried about disappointing him.
And that could, I imagine, result in like a lot of people burning out. So how do you feel like you avoided that?
I think the best thing that I did was take ownership for sport early. So my dad was like, I'm going to teach you your swing, but then you're going to teach it to yourself and to other people. So actually in high school, one of my jobs was I did hitting lessons with people. And I was almost a better coach than I was hitter, because I could see someone swing and I could like dissect it and all these things. And my dad taught me that. He's like, I will teach you how to fish. I'm not going to fish for you. And I think there's sometimes as like parents that they're like, I just want to do all these things for you. And maybe I don't always explain the why, the nitty gritty, but I'm just going to like give you all this knowledge.
Yeah.
But my dad was like, we're going to study this. I'm going to break it down. I'm almost going to like test you on this. So when we would go and watch like a game, which was like so fun to watch college softball or go to MLB game, he's like, all right, through the whole game, it was like we're studying. He was like, what's going on here? What did he do wrong? Okay, he's 2-0. What is he looking for? Was this a good at bat? Was it not? Was it effective? All this stuff. So as a young girl, I was having to realize this sport and study it like the back of my hand, which is why I think it prevented burnout, because then at that point I took full ownership of the game, because I'm like, I know what's happening and I don't need a coach or my father then to like rely on.
Yeah.
Now, caveat to that, not burnout, but like the love that I have for sport of softball really diminished at the end of my college career. Like I'm in San Diego now. People ask all the time, hey, do you want to play like slow pitch softball? And I'm like, absolutely not. Like I went to bobsled, baby. I went like far to the other extreme. Like I want nothing to do with softball, honestly. And I think that was because it was just a lot, and we've gotten better with it with kids, but like you specialized early. I had a softball scholarship when I was 15 years old. I couldn't even drive yet, And so for me, at least that love of that game, I still have some maybe like trauma with me. My friends joke about it, where like I need to keep that at a distance. But any other sport, I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah. I can relate to it a little bit. I played soccer growing up, and I feel like got very, very into it, really deep. And then by even like end of high school, I was like starting to pull away. I'm like, there's other things that interest me, and there's other things that like are drawing me. So yeah, I can relate to that. So big sports background. Where did the military come into play? Like, was there any glimpse of that during college?
College is when it started.
Okay.
So going back though, I look, and you can always like find like, where is this trail? Like, how did we get here? Right? There's just like little seeds, little crumbs sometimes that like you can trace back. But at the time, not enough to be like, oh, she's going to be in the military. So I grew up in Indiana, Midwest, very patriotic, like walking down the streets. Memorial Day is huge. Everyone has an American flag. You talk to your neighbors, like it's awesome. But there's no military bases. So Indiana is not known because it has, Air Force base and Army base, and definitely obviously not a Marine base. So I never saw anyone in service in uniform often. I actually can't tell you a time off the top of my head when I did. So that wasn't an option for me. However, like I said, I was 15 when I accepted that softball scholarship, going to George Washington University, which was in DC. And if you've watched Criminal Minds or any of the cool shows, or I don't even know, I was like, I'm going to be an FBI agent. I'm going to be FBI CIA. I'm going to be a super secret squirrel. I'm going to go into DC. I'm going to work for the government. I'm going to go out. I'm going to fight the bad guys. I'm going to live this really cool life. Like, I don't know why. And I think kids still may feel that. I'm like, that is it.
Yeah.
And I get to college campus and I was like, I'm studying political science. This makes sense. And then I met a Marine, but there he was. And I remember being blown away by this individual. I was 18 years old and he was talking to me about what it means to be a Marine. And also was very straight up with me. Hey, at the time, only 4 to 5% of women were officers in the Marine Corps. And oh, by the way, they didn't maybe look like me, right? They may not have blonde hair, blue-green eyes, and are very, feminine, also a Christian. I'm like, I don't curse. I don't drink caffeine. I don't do nicotine. Like, I never shot a weapon. Like, am I this mold? And it was him who really looked at my potential and was like, well, you've been a leader your whole life. You play sports. So physically, like, we can train you, right? You have that grit and resiliency. We can see it, academically, like you're thriving at George Washington University. So you can lead and make smart decisions and you can give a life of service for your country. And that's all I had to hear. I was like, I'm done. I'm in. Where do I sign up?
Yeah.
It was calling my parents and letting them know that I was going to the military. That was a whole different story at first. My mom cried. My dad was like, can you just focus on softball, right? I mean, really, like I told you, like athletics and academics, like that's it. My mom's like, goodness gracious, like the Marines, like everyone says they eat crowns, they're dumb. Like, you're not going to the Marines, you're not going to war, right? My mom's like, you can't do this. And my dad's like, it's a phase, honey. Like, focus on softball, Riley. Just like, you're 3 weeks on to college campus. Like, it'll be fine. And I was like, no, like I'm going to officer candidate school. Like, I'm not coming home this summer. I'm going to go get after it. And it was incredible, the transformation in me and their heart shift when they saw me just 6 weeks later. And now that my mom literally has the Marine mom bumper sticker. And I'm like, please take that goodness thing off. It's terribly ugly, but they couldn't be more proud.
Yeah.
And my dad now volunteers and works with Blue and Gold Star families and all this. Like,
Awesome.
They are like all in. So it's like that shift. But I think like so many parents and so many families like have this perception of what the military is. And it couldn't be further from the truth. But it's because we just don't know. We know what we see on the news or what people tell us. And unless you've actually been in it, you're just making assumptions on what you don't know.
Yeah.
Which then gives me full circle. And I know we'll get into this, but now I'm in the role of recruiting, which is like that same thing I'm trying to tackle and tell people like, hey, I too didn't think I could join the Marine Corps. I too didn't have my family support this decision right away. I also thought that, hey, if I join the Marine Corps, I'm going to be going to Iraq and Afghanistan and kicking in doors. And that could not be further from the truth. But that's when the military came in and it never stopped. It was one of those things it was one of the hardest things I'd ever done as an 18-year-old. And I craved it because I was like, it pushed me, it tested me.
More than sports.
More than sports by far.
Interesting.
By far. And it made me a better athlete because of it. And it made me a better teammate. It made me a better person. It made me a better woman. And that's what I like tell people. It's like the military instills discipline, communication, commitment, courage, selflessness. It's about the people next to you. It's not about you. And when you're in an environment that's like chaotic, but it's controlled, you really find who you are. No sleep, no communication with the outside world. You're hungry, you're tired, you're with strangers, and you're asked to just push and push and push and do things that you're like, I've never done this before. Can I get through this? Can I do this? And then you do, and you're like, you know what? I think I can go a little bit more.
Yeah.
I can go a little bit harder.
Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Really quickly, we want to give a brief shout out to our sponsor for the show, which is, of course, Patriot Hard Seltzer. Patriot Hard Seltzer is a whiskey-based hard seltzer with a mission to give back to those who support this country. The veterans, the first responders, the nurses, these groups are so important in this country. And that's why we set out to create this brand. We wanted to create a great tasting product, which we have achieved. Whiskey-based hard seltzer tastes amazing. Everyone who tries it loves it. And then, of course, we have the philanthropic side where we give back to these groups and we support support them. We honor them on the cans. We're just very excited to be able to get this brand out there to you guys. So if you are interested in learning more about Patriot, visit patriotseltzer.com. On our website, you can learn about the brand, the mission, the philanthropies, and of course, you can buy our seltzers. They are available on there to be shipped right to your door in 38 states across the country. So that's the sponsor for the show. Now let's get back to it.
Okay,
Do you
what's
think
next?
sports help prepare you for that in any way, shape, or form? Like when you talk to this Marine, where you're like, hey, I've already been doing somewhat similar activities through sports and the competitive grit and spirit, where you're like, if I could do that, I mean, I know I could accomplish getting through boot camp and everything else.
Yeah, you're stealing my pitch. That's why for recruiting, I'm trying to recruit athletes. I'm going to literally athletic departments, and I'm like, I want some of your athletes because of that. Because athletes know what it's like to physically work hard and be pushed to their brink. Athletes know how to lose and get back up and keep going. Athletes know teamwork and communication, and they can take being yelled at.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this generation, like, I'm not going to be like point fingers of like, I'm not that far off, like whatever, but I'm like, people don't know how to get knocked down and punched in the face and get back up and keep pushing.
Yeah.
And sports teaches you that. And especially the sport of softball, where you fail 70% of the time hitting because a good batting average is 300.
Yeah.
So you're constantly getting knocked in the face with failure. How do you respond? And that's why I tell people, like, who are you? Who are you, lieutenant, when you're tired? Who are you, candidate, when things aren't going your way? That's what I want to see, because that's who you're going to be out there if and when the moment comes and your country calls on you. So that's the people I want. So my whole thing now that I'm in recruiting is I want athletes. I don't want, I'm not saying you have to be Division I and this, that, the other. I don't care if you were an intramural athlete or whatever, club sport. I just want athletes because they have the grit, resiliency that, again, that we're talking about here.
It's a mentality.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. But unfortunately, in these upcoming generations, it's like a dime a dozen, and I don't know why that is, but
yeah,
that's what
I
you see.
Theories. It's this participation for me.
Trophies.
It's this participation for me.
Absolutely.
And it's like a C is average, and it means something to be above average, and everyone thinks that surely I deserve this.
Yeah.
It's I deserve, I am owed this from the world, right? Like, well, it should be fair. It's not. And that's something that, again, easier said than done. Like, I don't have children yet, but like me and my fiance, who's a Royal Marine, we're like, no, if you lose, like, I'm sorry, we will love you, but you lost. Like, and oh, by the way, you don't get a trophy for just showing up to the game and doing what you're supposed to. That is the expectation. That is the standard of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it means something. And again, like going back to the military community, it means something when you see certain awards on someone's chest because they deserved it. It wouldn't mean anything if I just gave it to you.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's how, when you see someone military walk by, you're like, oh my gosh, did you see that? Like, that man or woman did something to really deserve that Purple Heart,
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. And so I think it's the same way. But I don't want to digress into my
That's powerful
psychological thought too much of what I think, but that is just something that irks me a little bit, that my parents were like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And they loved me through that, but like, hey honey, like, you lost, like, you didn't have a good game, like, sorry, these are the consequences. Now we can take that, feel it, and respond and use that to fuel you and motivate you, but we're not going to coddle you and act like everything's okay. Like, hey, by the way, you lost, you made a mistake that cost your team the game. It is what it is. Let's process it and carry on and move forward, but we're going to call a spade a spade.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not going to go get awarded with some ice cream and
no,
good
sorry.
job.
It doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
That's just reminds me of like little soccer games growing up. Like they bring little like Kool-Aid and like oranges for the players after the game. It's like everyone's like having a good time.
Yeah.
And I remember I get in the car and my parents would be like, I feel like you weren't really trying that hard.
Yeah.
Like, they're like that would happen sometimes, and I'm like, they're probably right. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to have that realness of conversation.
Yeah.
Like, and another thing, thinking of college, like, it blew my mind that people give the stigma to athletes of like, oh, they don't go to class, they skip stuff, like all this stuff. I'm like, I never missed a day of class. Like, I studied Russian in college. Like, I was one of the only crazy ones to like do something like that. Like, I was in the front row, like doing all this. And then I would go and play sports, and then I would go work a job. So I was like, what is your excuse of being a college athlete and you're skipping class that you are taking student loans out to pay for, or your parents are paying for, or you got a scholarship? Like, how rude and inappropriate is that? Sure. Like, you're not being grateful for the opportunities that are being presented towards you.
Yeah,
100%.
So it's kind of like similar, right? Like, when things are just like given to you, it doesn't mean as much because you're like, oh, I didn't have to do anything to get it. And then that kind of trains your brain. And that's what the military again, going back to that, we'll break you out of that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you real quick. It's like, no, you're not deserve a daggone thing. Like, you are one of many. Like, you are not special. And it's about your team.
Yep.
And I don't care what you have. If your team's not winning, like, you're not winning. And you'll feel that.
Quick question. So I feel like, and this is just my perspective, I've seen a lot more, obviously there's much less women than men in the military, but I've seen a lot more women go into the Marines. Is that a thing? Like, from the people I know, they almost, all the women that I know that are in the military, they're almost all in the Marines. Is that a thing that, like, women tend to gravitate towards that? Versus Army, Navy?
So statistically, the Marine Corps has the fewest females.
Okay.
You'll see much more in the Air Force, the Navy, and the Army. Much, much more. The Marine Corps women are about 9% of officers. About 9% of officers are women, which is not very many. However, I'm assuming the kind of women that you know are pretty hardcore women, because any man or woman, and this is what I will say to this, that join the Marine Corps, majority of the time, if you ask them why the Marine Corps over the other branches, it's the same thing I'm going to tell you right now, because they're the best.
Yeah.
It's the hardest standards physically. We run 3 miles. It's a perfect score for a female my age. 3 miles in 21 minutes, 12 pull-ups, and 3 45-minute plank. A male my age, 18-minute 3 mile, 3 45-minute plank, 23 pull-ups.
Wow.
Like, that's the standard
Yeah.
that we're looking for of, like, perfect scores for our officers. And if you're someone who's like, I want to join the military, I want to be the best, you're like, I'm going to where the Marines are.
Yeah.
Because we have a world reputation, and I mean that. Like, I was just in Iraq with 26 other countries. They were like, you're a Marine? Like, the way that they looked at United States Marines are like, every Marine I've served with is incredible. They're disciplined. They're so fit. And I'm like, yeah, that's our expectation. I mean, yes, we have the best uniforms and we look the best in it. And people say that all the time. Like, you can be a 5, but be in dress blues and you're going to look like a 10. But
You are such a good salesperson.
I know. But honestly, that's who we get. Now, there are times too where people are like, well, I want to be a pilot, so I joined the Air Force. I'm like, do you not know the Marines have pilots? Right? The only thing that I admit that we do not have is our medical force. So we pull, like, our corpsmen and any of that kind of stuff from the Navy. Like, they're the ones who we work with alongside. So if you're like, hey, I want to be a doctor and a physician or whatever, I'm like, okay, we don't have a space for you. And the chaplain. But other than that, like, that's why they gravitate to the Marine Corps. I have not seen a massive shift, and, like, what I'm looking at numbers wise, but I am doing everything in my power to make sure. So if you're telling me that, that's, like, really good news to me, because that's, like, my personal mission is, like, I believe that there's women out there like me that did not think that the Marine Corps was a place for them because they've never maybe seen it or experienced it.
Yeah.
That they need to be coming in here. And those are the people that I want to go find, which is why I'm traveling all over, going to athletic campuses, trying to meet with people that are in the run clubs and the CrossFit community. I'm like, hey, you want to do something more? You want to be I call a tactical athlete, because every Marine is a tactical athlete. I'm like, come join my team.
Yeah. It could have just been the demographic, and I grew up just outside of Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
I don't know, if kind of suburban-ish, country-ish. I don't know.
Yeah, but Quantico's pretty close, and that's our headquarters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when I ran the Marine Corps Marathon, I think I was telling you that you should run it. Now that you mention it, there was a ton of women Marines, like, at the finish line. That just, I had never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
When I came across the finish line, I was like, this is crazy. Like, I've
Yeah.
never seen so many women in the military before, and obviously they're all Marine Corps.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Again, while that is there and that's becoming a thing, your reaction is exactly what I felt. I was in St. Louis maybe 2 or 3 years ago doing recruiting, and I was at outside of the baseball game, and I had people come up to me. They didn't know my background. They were just like, I've never seen a female Marine. Can I take a picture with you? And I was like, I'm not like a circus animal, but, like, yeah, like, of course, like, come on, like, I want you to see this.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of, like, my book and, like, recognition of, like, trying to show people that, like, hey, there are women Marines. But I would also argue, of the ones that you saw, like, squared away. Like, the female Marines that you see, I'm like, oh yeah, they've worked for it. Like,
Yeah.
they are studs.
Yeah.
Like, all of them are going to be extremely successful in anything that they do, and they are representing a small group, but they're representing it extremely well.
Oh yeah. I can't even imagine, like, seeing, at least from your perspective, when you look at all of these different demographics and you look at women in particular, knowing that they're, what's the percentage you said?
9%.
Yeah, knowing you're 9%, you're going to make sure damn well you're representing that 9% to the best of your ability.
Exactly. Yeah, it means
So-
something. It's like the Marines, we say we're the few, the proud, but the females were like, we're the fewer,
Yeah.
prouder.
Very few. Yeah.
Because we have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's plenty of times I've walked in the room and I'm the only female.
Wow.
But I don't notice that, honestly, because I'm like, I'm a Marine. Like that's just what we do. But when someone asks me, I'm like, oh wait, yeah, like I guess this is it. Which is why I'm like, I need more.
Yeah.
And there's a certain type that I'm thinking of that I'm like, that's who I want to pull from personally.
Gotcha. So you joined in college. What was that process like? Kind of while you were in college, what is that like? What is the requirements? What were you doing? Was it hard to balance with school and sports?
Yeah. So there's so many programs. I was not in ROTC. I wasn't able to do that. And I already had a softball scholarship, so that makes sense. I didn't go to the Naval Academy. So I did what's called Platoon Leaders Course over the summer. So our officer candidate school, it's not called boot camp, but sometimes to civilians, that's just what makes sense. Officer candidate school was 2 summers. So that first summer after my freshman year and the second summer after my junior year, each 6 weeks, going to Quantico, Virginia, and training and earning the title, so that when I graduated college, because that's a requirement to be an officer, you have to have your college degree, I was able to commission straight away the day I graduated.
Awesome.
Which was great. Balance. I love that word, and something I've actually noticed about myself, and this doesn't go for everybody. The busier I am, the more productive I am, and the more on top of things I am. It's maybe like procrastination. You tell someone, hey, you have a week until you're to write this paper. Majority of people are writing it the night before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? But if it's like, hey, you have a week to write this paper, but you have a game on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. You have practice at this time. You have to get your running and your training in at this time, this. All of a sudden now I look at my schedule and I'm getting that paper done in those white spaces. And so what I notice is actually the more busy I am, the better I am. Because when I like to say I'm where my feet are planted. So when I am in this role, like here I am and I'm ready to go, because then I know I got to go into the next thing and I have to be so physically present versus, I have all the time in the world. So in college, I was balancing, playing softball, which I played all 4 years, while balancing the Marine Corps training, which, let me tell you, do not go hand in hand. Like softball is sprint, heavy lifting, fast. And then Marine Corps is like, go do a bunch of pull-ups, go run 3 miles, right? So I was like, oh gosh, I have to do both of that. Was able to graduate magna cum laude. The reason why I say that is because also people have this perception that as an athlete or as a Marine, like you're not with it academically, and that couldn't be further from the truth. So really into that. And then after 18, I never wanted to ask my parents for a single thing. So I worked 2 jobs while balancing all of that. Wow. And I loved it. I loved my college experience.
Yeah.
When I say it out loud, I was like, whoa, I did all those things. I worked for a congressman on the Hill in season. Don't know how I did that, but I did that. I spent a summer in Kyrgyzstan where I studied Russian and I taught English at a school. Don't know how I did that, but I did that.
Can you speak fluent Russian?
Da, я говорю русский язык. Yeah, so
That's
I speak some Russian.
I have no clue what you said, but that sounds good.
I'm not a spy. I didn't say that, but
We know a little bit about Russian spies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I am exposed.
Yeah.
Podcast exposed. But yeah, no, so I love doing hard things. I love doing things people tell me that I can't. I love doing things that I'm like, you know what? I would love to do that. And then I'm like, why am I just saying that? I'm going to go do it.
100%.
And what's your excuse? And I'm obsessed with it. And that's why I keep looking for things that are hard. That's my big message. I'm like, do hard things. Do things that get you out of your comfort zone. Make 0 excuses. And then, oh, by the way, if I'm doing all these things, what's your reason why you can't do one? And it's like not a mean challenge, but challenging people, like rightfully so.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go and get your degree? Why aren't you? Like, you want to start a podcast? Why aren't you? Like, what is your excuse? And also, don't tell it to me, because I'm not going to take it, because I have the same amount of time in the day as y'all do. It's what's your priority?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My priority is like, I'm searching to be great in whatever capacity that looks like. I'm not saying I'm great, because I fall short so many times and I fail all the time, but I'm going to keep putting myself out there and trying, because eventually I'm going to strike gold on something. If I keep knocking, some door's going to open.
Yeah.
And it's going to work out. And I've been able to find a couple that have opened so far.
You just posted on your Instagram story like a day or 2 ago. You said Ren Stew and you were doing your workout.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love the mentality.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
My father.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like my dad would tell me, again, he was my coach. He was my best friend. And we actually, breadcrumbs, he loved Jocko and the military and the Navy SEALs right when it was like up and coming. And he was like trying to teach me military mindset as an athlete. Like, hey, here's what Goggins says. Here's what Jocko says. Here's what the Navy SEALs do. Here's how you don't DOR, right? Like, here's how to get your mind right, right? Right when all this was coming up in the 2000s, my dad was teaching me it every day. We would read books together. That was part of his thing. We would read a book together and talk about how this military simulation related to sport. So my dad and I would say, we have it tattooed, the only easy day was yesterday. And the reason why the only easy day was yesterday is because you already got through it.
Mm-hmm.
So now each day, and it's like your rent's due.
Love that.
And every day you gotta pay it. And the boss man or whoever that is like, hey, let's get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And now whatever that rent looks like for you can be different, but that's my dad and I saying like, hey, rent's due. And then rent's paid today. I clocked in, I got it done. Whatever that looked like, all right, I'll catch you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And I love that mantra. And most people like either get it, they're like, I don't understand. Or some people are like, man, you must have really expensive bills. I'm like, well, San Diego is expensive. But it is every single day, right? And I'll be honest with you, and we've seen it. Like there's people in my military community, sports community that were once studs. And you look at them now and you're like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And it's that thing, like you cannot let yourself go. Rent is due every single day. I don't care about the accolades that you did before, respectfully, that's incredible. But who are you today and what decisions are you making every single day to go motivate not only yourself, but the people around you, because you owe that to yourself and to them. I'm a big believer, and I'm obviously getting very passionate about this, but like each of us were given gifts. Like I can't sing to save my life. I'm not going to pretend to, right? So that's not something I'm going to do. Yep. But I feel like I do have the gift of being bold, and like I'm going to then use my boldness and like share messages that people need to hear. Like go move your body. And I'm just going to say this, it's going to make a lot of people mad, but we have the highest rates of depression and anxiety than ever, right? But we also have more people more than ever that try to then supplement that with medication, sitting on the couch, watching social media, looking at what everyone else is doing instead of bettering themselves. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, go move your body, go exercise, go converse with people, like do stuff that makes you happy that our human bodies are supposed to do. And I guarantee you'll be successful. Mm-hmm. And that's my biggest thing. If you want to find a successful person, my dad, he's very influential clearly in my life, sent me this. And I don't know if it's real because it's social media, right? But they did this poll on like the top 1% of like most successful people. They're like, okay, what one characteristic is existing amongst these people? I feel it, I'm not taking the host, but I'm like, I want to ask you, like, do you guys have an idea of like that one thing that stuck out?
Consistency.
Okay, close. That was good. Yeah, no, that's
like
good.
Consistency, determination. I don't know.
Yeah, it was grit.
Yeah.
It was grit. And it's not, where you grew up, how you grew up, you're likely like how much people liked you, how affluent you were, your education degree. It was your grit. And that was, how do you respond when you get knocked down and you keep going and turn that on and like have that fortitude to like keep going? Like what truly is resiliency? And that's what they said, like all these people had. That was the only common factor amongst all of them that they could like pull out.
They don't give up. Like that's what we've experienced for the last 3-ish years with this business. Oh, yeah. It's like every single step of the way, it's one problem after another, and you're just putting out fire after fire after fire. But most people, at least we're all the same age. Most people are like, forget it, throw in the towel, I'm done.
Yeah, there's a lot of points where we would have stopped.
A lot of points.
And other people would have stopped. Yeah.
Right.
And they have.
Yeah.
And that's why they're not, or they don't even start in the first place.
Right.
They're comfortable and they don't even start. I can't even tell you, like, since publishing and writing my book, how many people are like, I've always wanted to write a book. I'm like, why haven't you?
Right.
Oh, I don't have the time. I don't know how. Like, you think I knew how? You think I had the time? Like, you know what I'm saying? I was the same thing. I've always wanted to start a business. I've always wanted to do this. Or like podcasts or like socially, but they're like, oh, no one's going to listen to it. I'm like, no one's going to listen if you don't put anything out there.
Yeah.
Because no one has anything to listen to. And again, I can't like hit the over and over and over and again. I feel like I'm hitting like a dead horse here, but I'm like, go and do and start. And then be resilient when it happens, because it's going to get hard. You're going to get knocked out. And oh, by the way, if you look at, again, those 1% of successful people, how many ideas did it take or tries did it take until they actually finally made it?
Yeah. It's just failure after failure after failure until one hits. But that's the problem, is they only focus on the one that hits.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, look, they became so successful. It's like, well, how many times did they fail to get to that point?
One of my favorite athletes recently, just because people talk about it so much, is Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at
Great example.
You look at his college experience, and how he got drafted, and now he's like, literally, even people who don't watch football know his name, especially the women. But like, you know what I'm saying? But he was not
He's
much
not
of
a
anything.
first round draft
No.
pick.
Michael Jordan's the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I'm looking at even myself. Like, I tell people this from a very humble standpoint. I played the most in college my freshman year. And that like hurts to admit. I was the most successful as a freshman in college playing and being productive than I ever was my next 3 years. I started a sport of bobsled at the age of 23. I never touched it in my life. And I just won my first gold medal in January and ranked top 25.
Yeah.
I have no,
a little
but,
applause.
but I say that and like, I have no business being here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at the people I'm next to and I'm like, you guys are way better athletes than me. Lolo Jones, my best friend, Keisha Love, Alana Myers-Taylor, and then like major track NFL players. I'm like, you guys are legit. How am I in this group? But it's like, I'm not taking no for an answer.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be the psycho that's going to keep going and going and going when everyone else tells you that, you know, they don't believe in you or, you know, something comes up or an injury or like where most people fold the towel. And I really think if more people surrounded themselves with this idea of I owe it to myself, my community, my family, and the world that is waiting on me to follow this pursuit, this dream that's on my heart, I would love to see where the world is. I think there'd be a whole lot less haters online and on social media because they are the ones often that have folded the towel.
Yeah, because they're not the ones who are actually going pounding pavement and doing it themselves. They try and pull you down.
They're
It's
the
always
ones
like that.
They're the ones sitting throwing shade, right?
Of course.
And it's just like, again, the community. And this is why I was like so excited to meet with y'all. Like this military community, but the sports community, like all the things, right? It's like you're an endurance athlete, like all this stuff. Like you know what hard feels like and looks like, and you're kind of just crave it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it easy.
Yeah.
I want it hard because that means I earned it and I worked that much harder for
Feels
it.
way better.
Right? Now, I mean, if you want to make some things easy, like, Lord, I'm totally okay with that. But you know what I mean? Like it means so much more when it's like, man, you should have seen where we started. I started in my basement. I started with nothing. Right? I started from here when no one believed in me. I didn't have a name. No one wanted to interview me. And now I'm looking around and I'm like, hey, I got a story to tell. You may not like it because I'm going to tell you some hard truths. But now you're going to listen.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what y'all are doing here too. And
Trying
that's
to.
why, and that's why I'm like, heck yeah, brother. Like, let's talk about it. Let's get the word out, right? Let me stand behind you and like motivate you and let y'all know and like pour some of that love into you guys and be like, hey, you may not be where you want to be yet, but you are much further along than where you ever have been.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
it's only, the trajectory may not be like this, but you're going somewhere.
Well, we didn't think we would even be in this position right now doing podcasts. And like 3 years ago, we had no idea.
Flying to new cities.
Flying to new cities,
Yeah.
like meeting incredible people left and right. And it's like, we quite literally started with nothing. We don't have beverage experience. We don't have, any business experience besides being our own content creators. Like he's a professional videographer and I was doing stuff on the side, working after working full time for a car dealership in a marketing department. I was going to like local businesses and saying, hey, how can I help you with your social media? But like, that's our backgrounds. It's creative, but we don't have any beverage company experience. Like people asked, how the heck did you start a beverage company? How much time do you have? Because there's a lot to it.
I mean, we didn't even know. I say this all the time. Like, we didn't even know where to find the answers on where to begin. Like, it sounds like you had the same story with your book. Like, we don't even know, like, what is step one if you want to make a beverage company? Like, where do we even look to find the answers to know what step one is?
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
And what you did and what I did is like, I don't know where to start, but I'm going to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. That's what we did.
And I'm going to find it and I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And then people want the cheat code, right? Like, oh, how do I do it? And then get exactly how long do you want to hear? How much do you want to suffer? How many no's do you want to be told? Right?
Oh, we got plenty of those.
Oh, you and I both. And that's what people don't see.
Yeah.
And so it creates this mindset of, oh, you're so lucky. Oh, you had it easy, surely. Right? And you're like, you have no idea.
Yeah, they just see the big break. Like they see the big investment and it's like, well, how do you think we got to the big investment?
Yeah.
How many hours and hours it took to build the company to where we started to where it is now? How many phone calls? How many doors did we knock on? It's like, it's limitless.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm going to shout out my dad again. Like him and I talk about this all the time, the man in the arena. But everyone is jealous of the outcome, but not the process. Everyone wants the outcome of, oh, I'm successful, right? I got said name person to represent my brand. Yo, your book's out, is a bestseller, all this stuff. But I'm like, you're not envious of the 3 years. you're not envious of the injury and the setbacks and the heartbreak, right? You're not jealous of that. You just see the end game result, and that's what you want.
Yeah.
I said, so if you think that this, you can have this without all this, buddy, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what separates people. And it's the same thing. And I'd rather be the man in the arena. I'd rather be the one that everyone is watching, right? Maybe criticizing, but I'm the one freaking doing it.
Yeah.
So if we get it, like, I'm going to get it.
Yeah. I think it's all mental at the end of the day. That's what I think it is. It all comes back to, like you said, it's a mindset. It's being able to figure out, hey, if I want to get from point A to point B, how do we do that? But unfortunately, a lot of people are like, oh, it's too much work. I'm comfortable. I'm in the comfort zone. I'll just stick where I am at, and that's it. But like when I tell people, not just the business, I did an Ironman a couple of years ago.
Let's go.
And my dad just did the same race this past year because he saw me do it and he's like, I want to do it. The same thing. Everyone's like, how the hell do you do an Ironman? Like, that's insanity. You're doing a full marathon after biking 112 miles and then you swim 2.4. Like, mentally, it's like, there's no way. There's no way that's happening. But when I tell people, it's mental. It is. Most of anything is, at least in, you can probably attest to it, in sports, it's 90% mental, 10% physical.
Yeah.
And at least I think that's the same in endurance.
Yeah.
Because when you're out there all alone on the course, there's literally no one around you. It's just you and yourself and your thoughts. If you can't focus and say, look, I'm going to get through this, then that's maybe that's not for you. Like maybe most people are just like, you know what, I can't do that. And I don't have the mental acuity to be able to bunker down and do it.
Yeah.
But I'm convinced it's all mental.
Yeah.
Especially in endurance and in business, because we could have given up a long time ago. You could have given up and said, you know what, Marines, forget it.
Yeah.
I'm not going through that.
Right. I'm getting yelled at. I mean, my biggest thing that you're thinking of that most people don't know, but can relate to your endurance is in bobsled, it's just me as a pilot. And it's freezing, which is already uncomfortable for people, right? Like I'm in basically like spandex. I'm about to go down and I had just crashed, which means I went 80 miles an hour in my head. I have ice burn. I'm banged up. I'm pretty sure I'm concussed, but I'm not going to say nothing because I want to keep going. And you got to get back in. You got to go again. And you're terrified. You are terrified. Like it feels like life or death, right? Like everything's in you like, don't do this, right? My parents, don't do this. No, it's okay. Like just take the rep off, right? Coaches, everybody. I'm like, I have to keep going. Because if I let that little voice win of exactly who are you when you're tired, when you're scared, and it's just you.
It's
when
those
there's
moments that, like the most important too, like for growth.
It is.
Yeah.
There's every comfortable option waiting for you. Come get warm, come rest, right? Or I think in the military, oh, just sleep in, right? No, why are people up at 05? Because it's hard. Why do people take cold showers and PTU people vomit and throw up, right? Because it's hard. Like you have to be able to get through it. And I couldn't agree with you more. The sport of bobsled was the most mentally draining thing I've ever done in my whole entire life because you are terrified all the time. It is the most uncomfortable thing, just like an Ironman. And if you ask me right now, I'd be like, Riley, you're going to train for an Ironman? I'm like, oh my gosh, I am. I'd be like, again, I don't know how I'm going to do it. And if I told you, hey, Brandon, I'm going to teach you how to drive a monobob and you're going to go down Park City at 85 miles an hour, you're going to be like, huh?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You don't always have it figured out. Like in my brain, and I'm sure just like you, I can't tell you, oh, you do this, that's this. Part of it's like, you just got to do it, man. You just got to put in the work. I'll write you a plan and you just got to do it.
Yep.
But you can train to run. You can train to swim. You can train skill. You cannot train this 6 inches between your ears. You either have it or you don't. And once you quit once, I'm sure y'all felt this. Once you quit once, oh, it's so much easier to quit again. It is so much easier to quit on yourself. And then you become a quitter. Yeah. And I reflect this on all these people that I say in my public speaking. If I were to explain to you, so you guys are boys, right? If I'm like, hey.
I hope so.
Right, you guys are boys. But let's pretend like y'all don't know each other, right? And I'm like, hey, man, I want to introduce you to my boy, Brandon. Like, he's so great, man. Like, he never shows up on time. He always tells me he's going to do stuff, but he won't. I can't get him to, like, answer me half the time. But, brother, like, he's going to be your best friend. Like, you should be business partners with him. You look at me and you'd be like, Riley, you're crazy. Like, I don't want to meet this guy.
Yeah.
Yet, that is who you are when you say you're going to do something and you don't do it. That is who you are when you say, I'm going to wake up early and I'm going to go to the gym and you don't. You're a liar. That's who you are when you're like, I'm going to keep doing this business no matter what. I want this more than anything, but times get hard and you're like, oh, okay, guess not. And it's like, if you don't want to be friends with that people, no wonder you don't like yourself, because you're saying you're going to do things and then you don't do them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying you have to be perfect at it, right? Like, I'm not asking you, you ran a marathon, what was your time? Oh, you didn't run under a blah, blah, blah. Like, you suck, right? It's like, dude, you did an Ironman?
Yeah.
It was freaking awesome, right? Like, you guys are doing a podcast? Heck yeah. Not, oh, you didn't get, 100 million thousand views. Like,
Yeah.
you guys, come on.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that's what it is. And that's what people also don't think. It's just like, it's not always even how you do it. Like, you just got to do it. You just got to start somewhere. You have to like train up here, because everything else is doable. Like, it's all within your reach. You just have to freaking go out and do it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, so how did you start with bobsled? Like, how did you even, like, how do you even get into that?
Yeah.
Because it's just,
It
it's
is a very
something,
peculiar sport. Like,
yeah.
It is.
And I don't mean any disrespect, but
No.
it's like, if you ask me, like, what sport a random person would be most likely to get into in the Olympics, like, I wouldn't I wouldn't think that. I'd think like a regular sport. It's a very like over here. I don't know a whole lot about it, so I'm interested to know too. Yeah.
It's a very niche sport, right? So
Yeah.
background, again, like where God like kind of plants seeds in my life is things that, again, at the time I didn't know, but looking back on it. So back up to college, I was playing softball at GW, and I was very active in the sports community and on my team in leadership positions and roles. And we were having a jersey retired for a former alumni softball player. And she was coming to get an award because she had just won a silver medal in the 2018 Pyeongchang Games. And her name's Alana Myers-Taylor, and she's a bobsled pilot who also played softball at GW. So I'm sitting there, and they're like, Riley, you're going to present her this signed softball, right? As if it's like this, big thing. But you're going to present her an award on behalf of the GW softball team in front of GW Athletics as we welcome her coming back from her silver medal from the Olympic Games. I'm like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. And as she's talking, my heart starts pounding. I start sitting at the front of my seat, and I'm listening to what she's saying about bobsled, about the grit, about the resiliency, about the determination, how hard it is, right? That you're traveling the world, you're actually losing money competing, but you're going 90 plus miles an hour, where you have to be so mentally strong because she's gotten concussion after concussion after concussion, but you have to come back up and show up for yourself and lead this and be a woman and do all of these things. And I'm just listening. I'm like, dude, who is this chick? So much so to where I hit my teammate next to me and I said, man, in another life, I would be a bobsledder, but I got my sights set on the Marine Corps.
That's where it stops for a lot of people.
And that's where it stops.
Yeah.
And that's why I say there's a desire. That desire was put on my heart, I believe, from the Lord. But like, my desire was not badminton, no hate, but like it was that in bobsled. But I also had my sights set on something and a goal that I knew that I had started that I was like, I will complete. So insert that like seed right there. And it's growing without me even realizing it, because I finished college softball and I was like, ain't no way I am 22 years old and I am done playing sport. By the time for women, that was like a hard reality. There wasn't a lot of growth professionally. And like we talked about with sports, like with softball, I didn't have the greatest overall softball experience. Like I did well. We won A10s. Like I played, but I just not to the level of what I wanted to tell my father, to be honest. And I felt like a failure. I'm like, but I'm learning so much about myself. I'm finally like fit. Like at 22 as a woman, I'm like, dude, I can like bench 135. Like I'm getting somewhere. And I was so set in the Marine Corps because that was such a big goal. And I knew that I really had to prove myself. And so it was after the Marine Corps' initial training. So you go to the basic school, you go to your MOS school. So I went to logistics school. I got to this mysterious fleet here in San Diego. And without going into too much detail, but essentially all my peers were deploying. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to deploy. That's why I was like, you train to go in the fight.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you're not deploying. You're in a position where we're not going to send you. Like you're filling a captain's position as a lieutenant. You're an S4 officer. You're overseeing 750 Marines. Like you're not in a position to deploy. And I was crushed. And so again, I'm like, I woke up and I'm like, what is my why? Of all my goals that I had listed out, I achieved all of them. Not to be like bragging, but it's true. At some point, your goals have an expiration date, right? Become a Marine officer, check. Become the best logistics officer, check. Move to San Diego, check. Graduate Division I, check. Like, all of these things. I'm like, dude, I did it. And this is also where a lot of people stop. I've achieved my goals that I've worked so hard for. Okay, I'm done. Now I'm going to like bask in the reward that I've done. And I'm waking up and I'm like, what am I training for? And respectfully, I'm like, this isn't hard. What the military is asking of me right now wasn't that hard in the sense of it was just physical fitness tests, combat fitness tests, stay fit, show up to work, do your job. You're not going to deploy. And I'm like, I need a challenge. I need something. I was going crazy. So I was like, fine, I'll go find it. But it's COVID and the whole world shut down, especially in California. So I was like, well, surely I'll join the Marine Corps softball team because, again, I said I don't want to touch softball with a 10-foot pole. But I'm like, I like that's the only thing that makes sense logically to me.
Yeah. You know, it's familiar.
Right. But COVID. Like, Lord, praise you for shutting that down. And it was then that I had learned about bobsled having an online combine. So normally they have a combine in person, very similar to like an NFL combine, where they assess all different kinds of athletes on your sprint, your jump, your lifting, your sports background, all that kind of stuff. Kind of just like a basic athlete check. Like, who are you? Do you pass the eye test? To even have a conversation with, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. But what's ironic is as a softball player, right? I was big, I was strong. Well, I've now been in the military for a year now where I've been running those 3+ miles, right? I've been like doing bodyweight exercises. I'm like, yo, this scared me because I'm like, I got to go squat and deadlift again. I'm like, I mean, I was, but not heavy. You know what I mean? And I started researching and I did what I am so proud of being that boldness. I can tell you exactly where I was. I was sitting in my office. I closed the door. I picked up the phone and I dialed the coach's contact information on the tryout. And I call him and I'm like, hey, coach, you know, so-and-so, I won't mention his name. I was like, hey, my name's Riley Tejcek. I'm a United States Marine. I was a former Division I softball player and I want to be a bobsledder. And I'm submitting you my videos and I think you're going to want to pay attention to it. I said, I may not be the best, I may not be the biggest, fastest, strongest, but I will outwork every single person that you have there. I don't know what came over me. I do. But I said all of that and I was like, that was a bold statement. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa. But again, because I just said it, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to do it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I went home and I called my dad and my mom and dad, they know this. They're like, oh gosh, Riley has one of her ideas again because they all revolve around something crazy and they are, but they're freaking awesome. I called him. I said, hey, I'm going to be a bobsledder. And again, my dad, Riley, you just got to the Marines. Can you just focus on the Marines, right? My mom's like, goodness gracious, Riley, like you just finished college. If you want to do something, get your master's while you're in, right? Like do something, you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, no, dude, I want to be a bobsledder. And they're like, goodness, this is a fade. It's not going to last. You know, surely, you know, this might not work out. And it did. And so much so where they're like, you have leadership and skills. Like we want to put you in the front seat right away. They invited me to come out to Park City, Utah. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't asked my command. I was like, oh shoot, how am I going to do this as a military? How? There's no one who's doing this. And again, it was one of those things. You got to, where there is a way, where there is not a way, you must find a way and you must create a path. And because I had a name for myself and I was working hard and I was proving myself at work, they allowed me the 2 weeks because of COVID. It just, you know, praise the Lord that they were letting people, you know, 2 weeks work from home because if you had close contact, you know, or COVID, you had 14 days quarantine. I was a 14-day tryout. And same thing. I show up to Park City, Utah. It is freezing. I had never been there in my life. 8,000 plus feet of elevation. I can barely breathe. I'm with track athletes. I'm with people that I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm looking up at a 15-foot ice track. And they're like, yep, you're going to be up there. I'm like, and what do I do with my hands? You know, and they're like, well, you're going to do this and this and this. And I remember studying as much as I could. My heart, they go, okay, who wants to go first? And I'm like, me.
So was everyone there equally inexperienced?
Yes.
Got it.
All zero.
So they're all teaching you from scratch how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's people who left in the middle of the night. We had no idea where they were. They just didn't show up the next day. There's people who are like, I'm never doing this again. We had NFL players that were like, this is the scariest thing I've ever done, and I will never get back in that bobsled ever again.
Wow.
And who are you when you crash at 90 miles an hour? It feels like a car accident that never stops. Your ice is burning. You're trapped. It's just this loud sound. And it freaks you out. Like it's one of the scariest things, crashing a bobsled. But that's when I knew again, I'm like, this scares me. This is hard. I got to keep going. That's when I made my social media. I was off social media for a while. I'm like, this is bad. I don't like it. But I'm like, Lord, if this works out, I want to share the story how I was a 150-pound Marine officer that had no business, not a top Division I softball athlete, or not even a top athlete, not even that fast compared to the track athletes that was showing up. But somehow I made it here and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going to come of it. But I'm like, I just want to document this because if something does come, wow, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
And yeah, the goal was the Olympics. And I was like, there's no way. Like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I just love this sport and I feel called here, so I'm going to keep doing it. And then it brought morale to the Marines. And then I'm like, you know what? This is bigger than me. If I can do this, I might have sway to show that there's Marine athletes and that we need to support them. If I can do this, I can then show my Marines to my left and right to then pursue their dreams of becoming a parent, of getting their real estate license, of getting their college degree, getting their master's, right? Getting out and doing whatever. I'm like, this means so much more than I think it is. And oh, by the way, I'm like, I want to represent the women out there, the young girls, that was me, that didn't think I could be a Marine, that didn't think I could be a professional athlete, that didn't think that people cared, that I would ever be someone that people would want to interview. I'm just like everyone else.
Yeah.
And it was then that I felt like with the Lord, I'm like, God, I have to follow this through and I don't know what's about to happen, but I'm going to give it everything I got. And I'm going to do it out of love. I'm not going to compare myself to others. I'm going to be like the athlete that I would always want to be, the teammate. I want to compete. And oh boy, do I want to beat you. But when you beat me, I'm going to be the first one to shake your hand and be like, that was freaking dope. But I'm going to get you tomorrow. And I'm like, if I can create that, I can make waves maybe. And maybe I can leave whatever it is better than I found it. And maybe my calling that I feel like is on this world is just impact. And now I'm sitting here in front of you guys and I'm still having to pinch myself from time to time where I'm like, I can't believe this is my story.
Yeah.
I can't believe of where I started. And when I mean like humble me down, like there is no reason why I'm sitting in front of you guys today. Like it still baffles me that I'm like, people want to listen to me, but I'm also like, man, if they are, I got some things I want to tell people.
Yeah.
Out of love, to motivate them, to be like, hey, there is no reason why you aren't X. There's no reason why you shouldn't be fulfilled with your life. There's no reason why you should be complacent with where you are. And there's every reason why I hope listening to this from y'all's story, from my story, is like whatever that thing is. I don't know what it is, but whatever that thing is that makes your heart beat a little bit faster.
Is that sort of the inspiration for your book, your children's book?
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. When I've been sharing my story, I go back to, I never saw a female Marine. And I never thought that I could be a professional athlete. So that's where the book originated. Is like, you know what? I want to tell this to adults, but who I really want to tell this to is that child that's starting to have thought pattern recognition, that the world is trying to tell them that they can and cannot do things right. Like we love the innocent of like a 2-year-old that is like not a care in the world, has no idea what's going on, right? And I'm like, I want to touch those. My book is like geared toward 4 to 8, but it could be for any kid. But those thought processes where their mind's starting to develop. And I want those young women, men too, but I want those young women to realize you can be a Marine, you can be a professional athlete, you can be an author, you can do pageants, you can do whatever you want to do. Do not limit yourself. Please, whatever you do not limit yourself, and be bold and courageous as you chase after that. And no matter what the people around you say, do it. Because if I can do it, then you can do it. If you can dream it, you can be it. If you can see someone else doing it, if you can visualize it, there's no reason or excuse why you can't.
It's powerful.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's children that I want to touch on that, but then twofold. I want the parents to read it to the children.
Yeah.
To have that reaction as well and check themselves. What am I telling my child that they can and cannot do? Who am I showing them and surrounding them with to be like those examples? That's another thing that irks me. And again, I'm obviously very outspoken and I'm not right on everything I say, but like I am worried about who our society is looking at as role models. I'm worried for young women looking at TikTok and Instagram and thinking that they have to dress a certain way, get Botox and fillers and use filters and be a certain way when they don't.
It's the influencer generation. Yeah.
And I'm like, people twofold. Well, Riley, you're an influencer. I'm like, okay, so if I'm an influencer, then I'm going to influence you on these things. Move your body. You're beautiful the way you are. You don't need a filter. You don't need to be fake. You don't. If that's what you want to do, I'm not going to judge you. Do it. But you don't need to because everyone else is telling you you must. And I'm going to tell you the opposite. I'm going to tell you, you're perfectly and wonderfully made the way you are. And you have gifts on your life. And I want you to go and do them. And don't feel like you have to imitate anyone else to be successful. And beautiful isn't just X. Beautiful is also this. And strong is beautiful. Oh, by the way, people used to talk about a thigh gap. You have to be super skinny, cardio, all this stuff. I'm like, no, let's go move some weight, homie. Like, and you're beautiful when you do it. You know, there's so many things that I want to say. So if I'm going to influence you, I'm going to influence you on things that are like going to hopefully elevate you and make you better. Go move your body. Go find Christ. That's what I do, right? Like, go do hard things. Gosh, if I can tell you one thing, go do something that's hard and see how that results in your life. It'll make you a better person. So yeah, I wrote that one book. I had no idea what was going to come of it. And that has been the most rewarding experience to me, seeing the impact that it's had on the younger generation, to where I'm like, I want to write more. And so now that I said that, I have to. But that has been something that has been huge on my heart, is like, we need to make a shift. And, you know, podcasts like this reach out to people our age and above, but kids aren't listening to podcasts. So I'm like, where are they getting their information from? Okay, how can I change
TikTok.
that?
Do you have the book in like a digital format?
So I have it as a PDF.
Okay.
I don't think it's an ebook, but there's also part of me that's like,
I think you should animate it. I mean, I read
Yeah.
it, obviously, and I was like, this would be, because you've got all the iPad kids now.
yeah.
So unfortunately, they're just going to be sitting on an iPad, and I feel like you could totally take the book as it is, and you could have an animator go and animate and have them, like, you know, see it on screen and hear it, whether it's you speaking or whoever. But
Yeah.
I loved it. I mean, I feel like it is quite literally a fantastic role model book that even if I was a little kid reading something like, I'd be like, this is awesome. Like, it's putting fire, you know, in me to
Yeah.
go do something. But
Yeah.
I can't even remember when I was little any type of like motivational.
I don't know if they exist or did then.
I don't
at
remember
least.
anything. I mean,
I
Green
don't
Eggs and
either.
Ham was
Right.
what I was reading.
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, I remember Dr. Seuss. I remember like my mom loved Ferdinand the Bull.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like there's
I
like
remember
little
that.
stuff, right? Like there's little books that I'm
Oh,
like,
you know what? The Little Engine
Oh,
That Could.
yes.
Do you remember
Yeah,
that one? That
I
was
do.
it. Yeah, the Little Engine
but
That
you know,
Could.
and while that's so great, and I love that because that is right, but I'm like, but that wasn't a person.
Yeah.
Right? So is that real? Well, I'm not a train, right? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I get the similarities, right?
Yeah.
But like, and that's what I think. And that's been my goal, is now giving back to children, right? I'm in recruiting and they're like, why are you spending so much time with children? I'm like, because I just want them to see. I just want them to see a woman in uniform. I don't care if it's me. I don't care whoever it is. I just want them to see that that's possible.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
It's like you said, that's where the seeds are planted. I feel like in development, a lot of what you become is what you're surrounded by, and obviously parenting has a lot to do with it. I think parenting is probably maybe number one,
Yeah.
and how you were brought up and how we were, like, I feel like that is the major influence on what you end up doing with yourself
Yeah.
and how hard your parents were on you.
Yeah. And something that I hope that I'm sure as if we, you know, all get into that parenting role, we're able to then give back. We're not going to know what we're doing. We're not going to have the right answers, but we're like, we're at least going to try to hit this standard. And because of that, we're going to have really great children that are
Yeah.
going to do similar things, that no matter what they do, win, fail, lose, whatever, they're going to instill these traits. And while I'm not trying to raise everyone's children by any means or tell them that what they're doing is wrong or right, I'm like, just be very conscious of who you're surrounding them by. What are you feeding them? And I say this, I just did a post about this a little bit ago, but there's so many people on different diets nowadays, right? You're paleo, you're gluten-free, you know, you're vegan, you're all this stuff, because people want to be so conscious about what they put into their body. People aren't that conscious about what they're taking in daily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if we focus so hard on that, of what we're putting into our body because we're like, we want it to be good, why are we not thinking of like, what music are we listening to? What television shows are we listening to? What friends are we hanging out with? Who are we letting our kids hang out with and watch and see on the iPad and do all these kinds of things? And it's like, if you actually dig that back, it's like, woof. I don't know if all of us are holding ourselves to that high of a standard, which is, again, like the goal. How can we portray a message out there that is good, that is pure, that wants to create impact, that is worth listening to, that can make a change? And for me, that's just my goal. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know anything, but what I do know is any chance that I can to speak and to talk and to meet people and to give inspiration, I'm like, I think it's as simple, honestly, as telling someone you believe in them, as smiling, as giving a compliment. Oh, by the way, all those things are free. And if we can do that enough, that domino effect dominoes are going to keep falling. The chips
Sure.
are going to keep going. And we will see an impact. And we will see a difference. And I will continue to see more females join the Marine Corps, right? We will continue to see companies like take off that are people that want to give back to our community and do things that are good and pure, that aren't in it for like the money and the fame, right? That are like, I'm doing this generally because I believe in it and it's something that's good, that's something that can help. And I just can't wait to see where we go and where you guys go.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like we're on similar missions, similar paths
Yeah.
in different areas, but yeah, it's really cool. I did want to ask, kind of jumping back to the getting into the Marines.
Yeah.
What was like the highlight of your Marines career? I know you're still involved, but what is your like your peak or a few moments that were like highlights of that?
Wow, there has been so many incredible moments. I think some of my favorite moments truly are Marines that have reached back out to me that either are still serving or have gotten out and who have achieved certain things. There's one of my Marines in particular that came to me and he was so excited to deploy. He was so excited, but he was young and he he didn't know what he was doing in the Marine Corps. And I'm like, all right, well, we got to get you there, right? And we go and he deployed and he came back and he was like night and day, like a man. And he came back and I was like, wow. He's like, ma'am, I promoted. I did this. I did that. You taught me how to do this. I did this, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, I'm so freaking proud of you. And thank you for sharing that with me. It's like, you were a part of it, ma'am. Like, you taught me this. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Or at my previous unit, I had a couple Marines and are maybe a little bit complacent with where they were at. I kind of lit a fire under them. And I'm like, nope, we're going to PT. We're going to train every day. You guys are going to get first class PFTs. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Because you can. And I see it in you. Like, you can do this. And again, at the end of it, right before I left, one of them who I knew had so much potential was like, ma'am, like, I just got the best score I've ever gotten. Like, I just did this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it. My favorite Marine Corps memories are seeing what my Marines were able to do when they believed in themselves, when they worked hard and they turned around. To me, I've deployed, I've gotten the awards, I've done the things, but nothing has been more rewarding than to see my Marines just absolutely go off at life. And then have the kindness to share it with me afterwards. Oh, nothing makes me more happier than getting texts.
As
or
a result
messages.
of your impact on them.
Or even they're just like excited to tell me. Yeah, that, but even then, I don't even can take credit for their successes, right? But them just being like, ma'am, guess what? I did this. I wanted to share this with you. Like years after. And I'm
Right.
like, oh my goodness, right? And I think of us too. I think of how many people impacted us that we don't always tell, that they may not know how much of an impact they had on us.
Yeah.
And I think of my high school coach, my high school softball coach. I'll be honest with you, love her more than anything. She was not the best coach, X's and O's. But what she did for me as a person and was there for me, I still don't think to this day she knows how much of an impact she has on me. And I'm reminded when my parents would see her randomly, she's like, really? I made that much of a difference on Riley's life? I'm like, you made the biggest difference on my life of where I was as a high schooler that you didn't even know that I needed. And so I think of that all the time too, right? Like how many people impacted us that we don't tell, and just encouraging us. That reminds me when I get those messages, I need to tell the people who invested in me,
Yeah.
like, man, thank you.
Yeah.
You really did something. In my success, you own a piece of that because you uplifted me. So
That's awesome.
to have people give that to you, oh yeah.
Just the gratitude of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can attest to that because I was doing martial arts from, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years old. But my master, he quite literally was like another father figure because growing up from 6 or 7 years old all the way to when I had to stop doing martial arts because I went to college. But 18 years old, that's a long time. You're going to class every single day of the week. You're sparring, you're breaking boards, you're going to tournaments. Like, I truly do give him a ton of credit having sort of co-parented in a sense. Because growing up, having the discipline to go to class, get kicked in the face, get punched, like get knocked down constantly, and then him yelling at us. Obviously, it's nowhere near what the military would be, but you're still getting yelled at. Like when you do a technique wrong, like do it again, do it, like the repetition. So I can totally see how that, giving gratitude where it's due, it can come into play.
I think coaches are so underrated as far as like
Yeah.
raising kids.
Yeah. And teachers. and they get paid the
teachers,
least.
yeah.
They get
Yeah.
paid the least. Like literally, it's those high school, middle school, like in those early years of like
The
developing you guys as
development,
men
yeah.
and females as women that are so influential. You spend almost more time with them than you do with your parents. And honestly, you almost care about their opinions more, right?
yeah.
Arguably, right?
Yeah.
And you're working so hard for them and you just want to be seen and valued. But also you want to be instilled those traits. Because yeah, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
I remember some of these things. But how often we look at it like, wow, if I didn't have that, I don't know if I would have had
Absolutely.
this, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And again, that's what I want. That's what I'm looking to then be for other people. They may not remember my name, but they will remember how I made them feel. Maybe the smile I gave them, the thoughtfulness, the kindness that I went out of my way to give them, because you have no idea the ripple effect that it could have, right? Something that seems so small can pay dividends on someone's life.
Yeah. And later down the line too.
We hear those stories all the time and they make me cry. Like even just people that are like just kindness, right? By giving someone money or giving someone a chance. They're like, you had no idea how bad I needed this. I just needed someone to believe in me. And then they go off and they're freaking crushing it.
And it costs nothing.
It's free.
It's free.
Yeah.
Just be positive. What's it going to do you any disservice to give them a compliment, to say, hey, you did a good job? Like, it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Giving
think
it's
we
free.
live in a world of negativity. So it's
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
the
see it
problem.
a lot. Yeah. I
You
think
barely
people
see that.
live in their own mind. They're selfish.
Because
live
they
in
hide
their
behind
own
a screen and
worlds.
they'll say something like, didn't you do a post about that or a story the other day? I was like, go off, because you were exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's because it's easy. And there's so many people, and I'm going to call out my own community, the veteran community and active duty military community is terrible to each other. Terrible. And I don't get it. And it breaks my heart. And that's why I say this. Like, I'm not calling them out to be like, oh, you know, eye for an eye. No, I'm just like, why? Why do we hate on each other? Why are we like making fun of people that are like showing pride of what they do, right? Like, oh, you're such a boo. Like, oh, da-da-da. I'm like, so what? Like, let them be a boo. Like, that's exciting. They just got through boot camp. Like, why is that a negative thing?
Right.
Like, they are so proud and excited. Or like, why are we attacking our own? Or like, I make stuff and post about this all the time. I'm like, for every mean thing people say, imagine if you said one nice thing. Imagine what that would do to people. And I will say this. All the veteran community, and I'm actually not even just the veteran community, all of America can rally behind the fact that 22 a day means something. 22 a day is 22 veteran suicides or military suicides that we experience a day. And if you look at suicide, right, I would argue, majority of America hates suicide, right? They're against it. Anything to do to be against it. But what are some of the things you look at in suicide? Loneliness, depression, resorting to right? Like, how are you not doing those same things and instilling some of those same values in people when you're absolutely berating them and trying to cancel them online?
Yeah.
You are putting them down. You're making them feel isolated. You're making them feel alone. You're making them feel like they're worthless, right? You're belittling them. And then now where are they going to go? To the bottle? To like inappropriate things, because they are so just torn down. And I will be the first to share this openly. 95% of the time, have very positive responses. Like, hey, she's trying to do good, right? She's trying to recruit Marines. I make mistakes. Like, call me out, right? But don't call me out in a way that you're trying to absolutely like diminish my character and make fun of me and like post who I am and all that stuff. And oh, by the way, the ones that are doing it, and again, like, you have the right, and I'm going to love on you. But what kind of person are you to do that when the military is supposed to instill honor, courage, and commitment amongst you? What kind of honor and courage is that? To just make your social media posts based off of making fun of and belittling other people. I don't get it.
I think it just goes back to the values we talked about earlier, like values and what's being pushed on social media, what's cool.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
dare you to put your name in front of that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. If you wouldn't do that with your name on it, that's all you need to know.
Yeah, well, they'd never say it in person.
They would never say it in person. But but even that, I will respect you more if it's your real profile, at least it's your real name, and you're going to make a statement, then make it and own it, brother.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to say something, you're going to say, like, you know, you want to hate on me, please have your opinion. Like, you're entitled to that. And like, as a Christian, like, I'm going to love on you. I'm going to forgive you. Like, anyway, like, have what you want to say, but like, own it and have some honor and courage behind it. If you're going to make a statement, then say it, and say it with like at face value.
It reminds me, I see so many posts in Facebook groups where it's like a anonymous person.
Of course.
Yeah.
People make anonymous posts all the time in a few groups that I've seen, and it's like, what value does that give? Like, you're hiding behind a screen. Usually it's not something positive, it's something negative.
It's never positive.
Yeah.
It's always attacking. And then again, I'll say this, and there is this easy thought process to just want to like cancel people.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't understand it for the life of me. Everyone makes mistakes. Everybody. I make so many mistakes, right? Why are you trying to absolutely cancel my whole entire existence and everything that I've done because of something that I did wrong?
They probably just think they think it's fun. They're trolling. Who knows?
Right.
It's
but
ridiculous.
If we could take that same energy, right? That same energy of seeing something, right? And instead of being like, oh, this girl, she's so proud of being so I'm gonna give I'm gonna give an example. I'm not gonna call it names. I'm gonna say an example. I made a post and I was talking about how much like I love and appreciate the Marine Corps. Now, does that mean that I love every single little thing about the Marine Corps? Like, no. Like, does the Marine Corps have things that I wish would change and that I'm working to change? Like, absolutely. But overall, I'm proud to be a Marine and I love the Marine Corps and I'm not afraid to show it. And I had someone come up, like, say some stuff to me and was like, well, you only love the Marine Corps because the Marine Corps loves you back. And it's not like this for everybody. And most people, like, don't love it and they rip families apart and they do all this stuff, And this person's an active duty Marine.
Wow.
I'm like, brother, if you dislike the Marine Corps
Leave.
that much, why
are you here?
you still here? And why then are you hating on somebody that enjoys it?
Yeah.
Like that's my biggest thing too, right? You don't have to like it. That's totally fine. But why are you coming at me and trying to attack me personally because I'm saying I'm proud to be a Marine? And if you're doing it to me, how many other people are you doing it to when we are just talked about that less than 1% of the population is doing this, that it takes hard sacrifice, whether you deployed, whether you haven't, whether you're an E1 or you're an 07. Like, you've done things that are hard and full of sacrifice that only us can understand. So how dare you actually take the same amount of time and effort and try to beat other people down when I'm like, if you don't have anything to say, first of all, why say anything at all?
Yeah.
But also, like, what good are you doing for people? And so that's my biggest question is, like, when you wake up and you want to pay that rent, whatever that looks like, why is your mission to bring other people down? And the answer is because you're not where you want to be.
100%.
However, my thing is, instead of someone like me looking at that and going to argue with that person, right, and try to tell them that they're wrong, I'm going to choose to love them. And people are like, how do you respond to haters? I'm like, I'm going to look at that individual. I'm actually going to establish contact. They don't have to like me. I'm going to pray for them from afar without them even knowing it. I'm going to love on them. I don't expect to change. I don't expect them to like me. I can't change the thought process, pattern, behaviors. I can't do none of that. But I'm not going to make it worse. I'm going to choose love. And that's me paying my rent every day. I'm going to choose a smile. I'm going to choose to be happy regardless of my circumstance. I'm going to do things no matter what because I'm going to choose impact. I'm going to choose to be better. And maybe, just maybe down the road, maybe that's a seed that I could plant in that person's life. It's like, you know what? I have been kind of rude.
Yeah.
And there was someone that, you know what, instead of try to like catch me back with a smart comment, kind of showed me some grace, some compassion. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. I don't care. But that's a choice that I also want to tell people in my community is, yes, maybe we attack one another. We need to be better at it. But for every negative thing, I'm going to try to combat it with like love. So I'm going to try to hype people up. I'm going to try to tell that boo, man, I'm so proud of you. You've earned that, Marine. Congratulations. I can't wait to go see what you're going to do. You're going to mess up. It's okay. We're here to help you. You're on the team. We got your 6. That kind of stuff. And maybe for every negative comment, I'm going to give 10 positive ones and we're going to try to overflow everyone's cup with positive things. And that's something that I can control. And that's something I'm going to keep doing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love how you said as well, like the people who are saying those negative things, they're pretty much always not really fulfilling themselves personally. Like they're not where they want to be. They're not dedicating themselves in any way to anything. They don't have a passion or guidance or goals in life. And it seems to always be the case. And I think that's the solution to everything is like,
it's easy.
Yeah.
I got a comment
Set
the
high
other
standards for
day
yourself.
on that post I just put up for my fundraiser for Tunnel to Towers because I'm running the New York City Marathon. Did you see
I
that?
say, how dare you try to
Yeah, you saw that
try to
comment.
give back money to a
Yeah,
nonprofit that's
they
helping people.
commented something ridiculous, like something about patriotism and how it's detriment or whatever it was. It's such a rude comment, and I'm like, you realize what Tunnel to Towers is, right? Like, it quite literally gives back to veterans and first responders, and like, maybe I should have taken the high road because I gave it right back to him because I was like ticked off. I'm like, why are you coming at me trying to say this is a bad thing? Like,
Yeah.
if I'm going to get criticized, at least criticize with some kind of factual evidence or something that proves that I am wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong about this. I'm fundraising for a good cause. And you're going to come on my post that I'm proudly saying I'm running my dream marathon and fundraising for our partner, our charity partner. And they're trying to pull me down. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
How dare
Come
you be
on.
happy?
Yeah. But again, to that
Yeah.
point, and that's my normally initial response. And it was one of those things of like, you know what? I am not going to change this person's mind.
You're not.
I'm not going to talk logically to them. So you know what I'm going to do instead? Brother, I'm just going to love on you.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what?
a great approach.
You know what? Like, you know what? Have that opinion.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing, right? Because that's why it takes you off. You're like, no, what I'm doing is right.
Mm.
But I'm like, I'm not going to give you more hate.
Yeah.
you already
Because that's
have
what they want.
You have enough in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give you love, brother,
Mm-hmm.
sister.
It's
whoever
funny
you
because
are.
that pisses them off more.
Oh, it does.
They're like,
does, but
hating
like-
on you, and you're like, thank you so much for the kind words. And like, they're like, oh, that's not what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Or like
Yeah.
for me, like when people, whatever, I'm like, hey, you know what? Like some of them are actually, I'm like, I just want to, I mean this with my whole heart. Like, thank you for your service and what you did for your country. I'm so sorry that you didn't get recognized the way that you thought and you deserve.
Yeah.
I believe every service member is a hero because you truly are. And I apologize that maybe I've got more recognition than you did, but that does not mean that what you did is any less than me. And let me be the first to tell you, like, thank you truly for what you've done. This country may not thank you, but like me, behalf on the Marine Corps, whoever, like, seriously, thank you. And if there's ever anything I can do for you, like, please let me know.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they could, fire it back at me. And I'm like, okay. But then I can sleep at night. And I'm like, I did my part. I paid that rent, right? Of like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this the way it is. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't know if it's because I prayed over it or the Lord or what. All of a sudden, I haven't been getting them, right? So I know I say that and they're going to come back. But I'm like, maybe this is an interesting technique. And but it's pure.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean this, Yeah, we'll see.
I love
Challenge accepted now. You gotta.
Yeah.
From
No,
here
I
on
mean
out.
it makes sense. Instead of fighting fire with fire and constantly like, why give them that satisfaction? They're
Yeah.
clearly posting something to try and get a response, and we get them even on the company page every now and then. People trying to tear it down, whatever. Instead of commenting back, which is what they want, just I mean, maybe we try doing something like that. It's worth a shot.
Another question I've been wondering. I feel like there's a perception of maybe what bobsledding might be like. You obviously have personal firsthand experience. What beyond the like difficulties of it, what is like the main thing people don't know about bobsled that they wouldn't know unless they've done it in person? Beyond like the challenges of like it's difficult. Like what is like something unique about it that people probably don't know?
Everyone who does it is living under the poverty line.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you have 2 400-pound bobsleds that you have to travel with to these winter locations that are spread all throughout Europe, Asia, and North America. And you're doing it for no money.
You're paying how do you ship
transport.
it? You
Yeah.
have to pay to ship it because you can't fly with something heavy like that.
Tractor trailers within North America, ship it over in crates, either
Wow.
by boat or by air to
Wow.
Europe. And then we drive it. We do everything. And that's what people don't see about bobsled. Like, I am the mechanic. I am the driver. I am like the driver, like logistically from place to place. I make my own hotel arrangements, right? I'm doing my entrance fees as I'm competing. Like, I'm my own coach. I'm my own therapist. I'm my own athletic trainer. Like, you
Own
just do it
coach.
all.
So
Yeah.
there's
So
no-
we have coaches, but like we're pretty limited in like how many of them at certain locations. So sometimes
Gotcha.
you only have one for like 7 athletes.
So it's on you to figure out what you're doing wrong
Yeah.
and how to get better.
Yeah. And so that's what people don't see is like, it's so blue collar. Like all of us, I mean, for me, especially lose money doing it. And so when you see a bobsledder, what you don't see, they're not in it for the money, the fame, and the glory. They're in it because they love the sport. They love what they're doing. And there's nothing like representing your country. But the people that are there are the people that are absolutely grinding, that have incredible stories of hard things that they've, pushed off, or things that they've had to do to make it to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's those stories that I'm like, you got to listen to them.
Have you seen that Jamaican bobsled movie, the Disney movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that, but there's a lot of like not so true things. I always get asked like the scene where they're in the bathtub and they're leaning.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't lean. The bobsled makes you lean. You're going 5 Gs. Like
Oh my
you're not like,
gosh.
okay, everyone lean to the left.
Right.
Like, no,
How they're
you're
doing that in
sitting
the
here and
scene.
your head's down and you don't know where you are and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like it's just happening.
Wow.
But yeah, there's so many things I could tell you about it. But the main thing I want to get at is like, if you meet a bobsledder, or I can tell you plenty of them to follow, look at their stories, and they're incredible because they have no reason to continue to go other than the fact that they absolutely love it. They're freaking good at it, and it means something for them to chase this dream, to give back, and to compete for their country.
Yeah, representing the country's
family.
got to be really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said 400 pounds. So how big are these bobsleds?
So there's 3 bobsleds. There's a 1-person, a 2-person, and a 4-person. So mono, 2-man, 2-woman, 4-man. So they vary in length. Because obviously if you have 4 dudes in there, it's going to be a little bit longer. Now, it's still super tight. Like it is smaller than you think. I don't know the exact dimensions off the top of my head, but it's not very big.
Yeah.
And you're crammed up in there trying to be as aerodynamic as possible.
Got it. So what are you doing while you're in there? Because you said you can't like lean to turn it.
Yeah. So there's the pilot has D-rings and like a steering mechanism, not like a driving wheel, but like a steering mechanism. And they're rotating the front axle to be on and off. In the back, the brakemen are pushing as hard as they can. They get in and then they're ducking. They have no idea what's going on until
That's
the very end when we
crazy.
signal to
So
them
they can't see anything.
and they pull the brakes. Yeah, no,
You're just in for the
they're
ride.
folded over. Yeah.
Wow.
Are you communicating while you're in there, or you're not saying
can't.
anything?
It's so loud.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's like,
So you're in the front, or okay?
yeah. So you communicate at the start because we have a cadence. I have someone, my brake woman behind me and then me, and we have to hit this thing at the same time. Well, how the heck do you do that, right? So we like have cadence and we practice steps and hitting it. So instead of 2 people hitting, because if I hit, I'm going to stumble, she's going to stumble. We have to be like perfect to hit this thing at the same time so it's not as heavy to be in unison. And then we just, from reps and sets, practice on when we're getting in, and then I'll smack her at the end to pull the brakes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's awesome.
So
That's
in
what
a
you don't see.
3, in
Yeah.
a 3-person, what is the middle person?
There is
doing?
no 3.
I thought you said there was. Oh, you say 4?
1, 2, and 4.
Okay, sorry. So 4. What are the 2 middle people doing?
Yep. They're just ducked.
Okay.
Yeah. They
just-
push really hard. The foremen,
Okay.
they push from the side. They get in, and they're just aerodynamic.
Got it.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Along for the ride.
So the front person's the only one who can see.
Correct. Yep. That's a driver.
Wow.
Man, you're
crazy.
putting a lot of faith in that front person.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And how fast is like what's the speed that you're trying to achieve?
Yeah. It's obviously as fast as you possibly can go.
Okay.
The fastest track is in Canada. The women, I think, will hit 90 miles an hour. The men will hit about 100. Yeah.
That's fast.
Oh, yeah.
I remember seeing it in like the past Olympic Games. Like they have those shots of them like flying around the
yeah.
corners. That's just insanity.
And it doesn't, it's like NASCAR or like F1. Like you can watch it and it looks fast, but there's nothing like seeing
Being
it
in
in
it.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you like? What are you feeling when you're in there? Is it like a full blown adrenaline rush, or are you
Yeah.
like
My heart rate
mentally?
spikes.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's scary. It is
Yeah.
scary. Like you're at the top of the mountain, you're looking down, and you're like, oh, frick.
What is the elevation drop? Do you know?
Well, I know in Canada, between curves 1 and 3, it's a 7-foot story drop.
Wow. That is. And how long are the runs?
They're over a mile. So every track is different.
Yeah.
But they're always over a mile.
Interesting. What is your favorite track?
Probably, that's tough, but probably Lake Placid, New York.
Got it.
Yeah,
You
it's
said
one of
you
the
train there a lot, you
hardest.
said too, right?
We do, but that's where I won my gold. It's one of the hardest, so that's why I think maybe I like it the most. I've had plenty of crashes. I won't always say that I like it. It's placid. People are like, you can't ever sleep on placid, but it's incredible.
How often do crashes I mean, I know you're striving to not have it happen, but like,
Depends. Yeah.
is it like every other run type thing, or
No.
is it like,
No, when you learn sometimes, when you're learning, once you get good, it's more rare, but you'll see probably a crash in every race potentially.
interesting? Okay.
Yeah, at least one sometimes because the reason why is you're trying to be as fast as you can with doing the least, but doing the least puts you in bad positions. So imagine like if you're driving a car, the more you turn, the more friction you're creating. It's the same thing. So the more I'm driving, the more ice I'm cutting, and I'm losing hundredths of a second. Now, if I don't do anything, it's not going to end well for me. So you're trying to find that line of speed and safety. And that's why sometimes it just doesn't work out well for you.
Yeah.
What are they made of? Is it
Carbon fiber.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, because that's the lightest and most.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions about it. I'm not thinking of them all right now, but either way, I feel like it's a very unique thing and really, really cool career path beyond the military to kind of do, especially doing both those things together. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Are certain courses or not? I guess courses, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you call
tracks.
tracks?
Yeah.
Are they more difficult than others?
Yes.
Okay.
So Placid's one of those. There's another one called Altenburg, Germany. It's known to be absolutely one of the hardest. Definitely, there will always be multiple crashes on those race days.
Wow.
Yeah, there's just parts of it where it's like you either hit this or you don't. In Canada, there was a curve called 50-50 because at the time when it came out, only 50% of people were making it through there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wow.
Of course, Lake Placid is at the top of that list because in the Ironman community, they all say Lake Placid is the hardest Ironman.
Yeah.
Besides Kona.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I believe it.
Yeah. It's a treat, but.
So you are going to be in the 2026 Olympics?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing that I've had to really come out with recently, but be really honest and open in that. I competed in Olympic team trials in March. There were 6 of us that were quote unquote eligible, and only 3 are going to make it. And of the 6 of us, there's the most decorated Black athlete in the whole Olympic community. That's the girl who, oh, by the way, played softball at GW that I joined because of.
Wow.
She's still competing, Alana. There's Kaylee Humphreys, who's one of the most decorated bobsled athletes in the world. Then there's my best friend Keisha, who is the reigning world champion in bobsled. Then you have a girl named Sylvia, who was a previous Olympian. And you have Lauren, who has won several gold medals and just as decorated, if not more decorated than I am. So if you look at Team USA, you're like, you guys are stacked. And we are. And normally it's top 25 make it. And I'm ranked top 25. But based off of countries, we only can have 3. And to be honest with you, it's been tough to swallow, but it's the truth. And I think sometimes that's like hard to like admit, but I'm like, I want the best to go. My goal has been the Olympics. I've given it everything that I can. And I'm not good enough. And you know what? While that's the hardest thing to swallow, it's also been the most freeing to say out loud of like, you know what? I want the best to go represent my country. I want the best to go rep Team USA. And if I'm not the best, then you best believe whoever got it from me is better than me because they've earned it and they've done it the right way. And those 3 girls are absolutely incredible. They honestly could go 1, 2, and 3 in medals.
Wow.
Like they are that good. And I support them more than anything. So I want to do hard things. I want to compete. I've given it everything I possibly can. And while my dream was to be the first female Marine, it's like, well, if I didn't do it, that means someone else has to now. And I'm going to support and encourage them to do it. But best believe I'm going to be the number 1 cheerleader for my 3 teammates and be like, y'all go do this thing. And I want to be the biggest cheerleader back at home or wherever I am, knowing what you've been through, doing everything I can to share your story and gain support for not only the sport, but ultimately for them to go and win. Because I know, like I said, it's hard to get people to rally behind and hear these stories. And if I can help be a part of it, that's my goal. That is my role now.
Yeah.
It's a great attitude to have.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's still 2030.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have other things that I'm trying to do.
oh, okay.
And we talk about the priorities. I can't wait to be a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Danny and I are going to get married here soon, and I can't wait to have children. And I want to write more books, and I want to run a half marathon, and I want to take my speaking career off, and I want to pick up major in the Marine Corps. There's just certain things where my priority was sport, and now it's starting to trickle down.
Yeah.
And it's shifting as I'm entering my 30s, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's on their own
Yeah.
path.
And so I'm excited. I don't
Yeah.
know what the future holds. I'm always going to do hard things. I'm always going to put myself out there. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to freaking chase after it. Oh, best believe. You'll see me in other things. You're like, Riley, you're doing this now? And I'm like, yeah.
Another big idea.
Oh, yeah, they're coming. I'm full of them. But for now, I think it's time to hang it up. I've been an athlete at the highest level for over 20 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I think that I have honestly achieved everything I want. And I think the biggest recognition for me was feeling like, oh, it's either Olympics or I failed. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know what? I actually have everything that I wanted. And yes, I didn't get the title of Olympian, which sucks. And that was everything I was like working hard toward and selling and endorsements and all this kind of stuff. But I'm like, but I am so rich in experience and memories and opportunities and resiliency that I'm like, I actually feel like I won the lottery and I'm leaving on my own accord. I felt like the Lord put on my heart. I think he was like, you're done. And I'm being obedient. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to keep chasing something for the need to like think that that's going to satisfy me, because it won't. I won my first gold medal and it was awesome. But I'm like, it's sitting in my garage right now. I'm like, so that's what I'm going to, do anything for, put my family, my career, like all these things aside to chase this thing that I think is going to make me happy, that I think is going to define me, when that's not what my worth's defined in. I was like, nah. And so I guess I haven't fully officially, but this is my place. Like I retired from the sport of bobsled. And it's really hard to say that because I'm like, oh, my ego, but it's also so freeing. And it's like, it's the truth. Like I wasn't good enough. I didn't have what it takes. And I hope I can be a role model to other people to be like, it's okay. It doesn't mean you failed. I'm going to keep going, but I just didn't have it. And I just have to be bold enough to admit that and be like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, if you gave your all and you can leave it all on the table and say, I did what
I'm
I
proud.
could. And yeah.
And that means, hey, I got to help find that next Marine that's going to freaking be the first one in the Olympics and do just that. But yeah.
And being a mom is a big challenge too. So I feel like you can, that can be your next thing you try to be the best in the world at.
I can't wait. Yeah. So I will let you guys know.
That's cool.
Yeah. And maybe I'll be the one with a half marathon, push my baby in the stroller and be like, come on.
Is that a thing? I bet they have races where you like run with.
I'm sure they
strollers.
do.
I'm sure they do. If not, then don't let me be the first one. But
Yeah.
no. Yeah. Well,
cool.
Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
For your time. I know, gosh, this was such a good one. We went to so many things, but thanks for what you're doing. I can't wait to see what all of us are going to be doing in a year from now. And we don't even know. It's going to be awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming
appreciate
here. Yeah, we're super inspired by your story. I feel like you're just checking all these accolades off your resume. And yeah, we're excited to see what you do next.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Sweet.
It's a wrap.